Hello my friends, welcome to this video. On the 10th of this month, the UK government published two documents that contain changes to their immigration rules. And guys, you know that I normally don't make immigration videos, but this one is too important to just ignore because it is going to affect all of us. In fact, it is going to affect even those who have already stayed in the UK for some time. It is affecting the students, skilled workers, care workers. Actually, there's some good news on that, and even VIPs. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm just going to focus on the changes that are going to affect the students, the skilled workers, the dependents of care workers, and families, those who are seeking visas to bring your family to the UK. Just those four. So if that is something that interests you, please make sure you stick around until the end and don't skip the video, because you might miss out important aspects of this information, and you never know, that might be the actual information that you really needed. So let's get started. Okay guys, the UK government published this, as you can see here, 10th September 2024, a statement of changes in immigration rules presented to Parliament on this date. But that's not all. They also have another document here titled Statement of Changes in Migration Rules. They work hand in hand. So first, let's start with what they are talking about in regards to students. So let me just show you something here. As you can see here, there is a maintenance requirement for all applicants to demonstrate that they have funds to support themselves for each month for up to 9 months. This level of funds for international students to demonstrate was originally matched with the maintenance loans available for home students, but the maintenance requirement for international students has not been updated since 2020. As you know, if you're coming to the UK as a student, you need to show proof of funds. Other than your own tuition, you need to prove to the UK government that you have enough funds to take care of yourself for at least 9 months. So this is what they have updated. They are saying the amount that they have been asking students to prove is outdated. It was last updated in 2020. This month, they came up with new figures. So let's take a closer look. So as you can see here, as per the new announcement, from January 2025 onwards, international students will be required to show that they have sufficient funds to cover their living expenses for each month of their course up to 9 months. The financial requirements vary depending on where the student is planning to study. For instance, for studies in London, an international student must show they have £1,483 per month. If a student is staying outside London, the amount one needs to prove they have is £1,336 per month. That is for only living allowances. But what is the actual difference? Well, previously, these amounts were £1,334 per month for London and £1,023 for other parts of the UK. So you guys might be thinking this is not a lot of money, right? But if you do your math, the difference between 1,334 and 1,483 is almost £150 per month. If you multiply that by 9 months, it's some good difference. Now, a student who plans to study in London must show that they have £13,348 for the 9 months of the duration of their course. That is in London. So let's just have a quick conversion of this amount to local currency. And I'm going to use Uganda as an example. If you are a student from Uganda, the UK government uses this website to convert your currencies into pounds. So let's say here British pound to, let's say, to Uganda shillings. Okay, so we are talking about how much again? 13,348. So 13,348. So if you are coming from Uganda, this is the amount of money that you need to have in your savings that should have spent 28 days in your account if you want to guarantee the success of your student visa. It is 65,375,167 shillings. So for your own country, you can as well go to this website and then you do exactly what I have just done now. However, if a student has already paid a deposit for accommodation in the UK, this can be offset against the total funds they need to show. There are also exemptions for long-term UK residents. Students who have lived in the UK on another visa for at least 12 months by the time of their application are exempt from showing proof of maintenance funds. So if you came maybe as a dependent or whatever other visa that you have used to be in the UK for 12 months, then when you're applying as a student, you don't need to show maintenance funds. So guys, that was about the students. Be ready to dig deeper into your pocket, or be ready to show that you have more savings in your account before you can guarantee the success of your student visa. Now let's move to something that touches a lot of people, and that is the errors in occupational codes. These errors had caused a lot of employers to deny you guys visa sponsorship because they thought those occupations were not eligible for visa sponsorship. Now the government has corrected that and came up with a list of occupations that had errors in their codes. And that means that guys who are seeking for jobs in these occupations can now apply and be able to get visa sponsorship from UK employers. Good news, right? Yes. So let's take a look. So right here you have a heading which says Home Office confirms error in migration rules and directs skilled worker sponsors to updated guidance. The Home Office has confirmed via a notification on the sponsorship management system that some salary going rates, that is the salary requirements specific to those occupations eligible for sponsorship under the skilled worker route, included in March 2024 statement of changes to immigration rules, were incorrectly stated, and that sponsors should instead refer to guidance updated on 10th July 2024 when issuing certificates of sponsorship under skilled work route. So let's look at which occupations are among those that were actually affected, that the employers, according to the previous guidance, thought that they are not eligible, and yet actually they are eligible. But before we go into that, if you're finding any value in this video at all, please make sure that you give it a thumbs up, and you can share it with your friends so that they can also get this information. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please make sure that you hit subscribe, because I'm going to be bringing you useful information that you don't want to miss out from. So let's continue. So as you can see, impacted occupation codes. So here we have them, a list of them. You can see codes here are the codes, but here are the actual job titles, like senior officers in firearms, ambulance, prison and related services, hairdressing and beauty salon managers, higher services managers and proprietors, biological scientists, probation officers, youth professionals, artists, actors, entertainers, presenters, design occupations not elsewhere classified, ship and hovercraft officers, vehicle body builders and repairs, TV, video and audio services repairs, roofers, roof tilers, slaters, marine and waterways transport operatives. But that's not all. The others that were affected are here: purchasing managers and directors, charitable organization managers and directors, senior police officers, senior officers in fire, ambulance, prison and related services, managers and proprietors in forestry, fishing and related services. Hairdressing again is here. Web designers were also affected, graphic designers and media designers, teachers of English as foreign language. I think that is where, if you remember in my video of how to get visa sponsorship jobs in the UK, under the teachers of English, there was no visa sponsorship available, and I did advise you guys not to apply for that because it didn't have. But moving forward, it is now going to have. If you didn't watch that video, please make sure you click right here, you watch it, and then you know how exactly you can get these jobs. Let's continue. So then others are professional chartered companies, secretaries, librarians, counselors, prison service officers, artists, actors, clothing, fashion and accessories designers. Okay? Design occupations not elsewhere classified, brokers, career advisors and vocational guidance specialists, officers of non-government organizations, NGOs, metal plate workers, smiths, molders, and related occupations. Yes, guys, metal workers and welders. Yes, now you can also apply. Metal machine setters and setter operators, vehicle bodybuilders, boat ship. The list is long, and the conclusion of what happened is that the incorrectly stated going rates in the appendix will have given sponsors the impression that certain individuals did not meet the requirement of skilled worker rule when they in fact did. Sponsors should have regard to the corrected going rates contained in the guidance until immigration rules corrected in autumn, in which we are, but that was already issued. Now it's going to be corrected, guys. So that was about skilled work road visas and things like that. Let's look at something also very important, the issue that touches on the dependents of care workers. So guys, as you can read here, in order to avoid leaving children of care workers already in the UK in a position where they are unable to make extension applications and to comply with safeguarding objectives, 2 further allowances are being added to the immigration rules for dependents of care workers under the skilled worker route. This does not alter the overall position that these workers cannot bring dependents to the UK, nor can their dependent children switch from other routes if there is another parent who can reasonably take care of them. So guys, if you go to where the changes are actually, which I don't want to go into because of time, because these documents are long. One is 75 pages, the other one is 15 pages. But under that section, they are basically saying that if you are a care worker in the UK and you are a single parent, it means that you can actually bring your child to the UK. Good news, right? Yes. However, if you are not a single parent and that child has another parent in another country who can reasonably take care of them in accordance with the safeguarding expectations of the UK, then that child cannot be eligible to join you in the UK as a dependent. So if you are a care worker and you have been wondering where you're going to put your child once you have got a job with visa sponsorship in the UK, then there is some good news that if you are indeed a single parent, your child can actually join you in the UK. One final thing that I want us to look at is the family visa. Okay, according to this part, you can read here, minor amendments are being made to the validity, relationship, and period and conditions of grant of requirements for family members to make clear who certain family members must apply with to be eligible under the BNO route, and to make clear that the family members' eligibility is conditional on their sponsors' application being successful. When I read this part further, it simply means that a person being offered a job on visa sponsorship in the UK, when you are applying for your visa, you must discuss with your employer and include your dependents on your visa. Once your application is successful, theirs is also automatically successful. The other issue of proving the relationship also has been made a bit easier, because now if you have your spouse in another country and you're in the UK, you simply need to prove a few things now, not so many more. You need to prove that you are in constant communication. You need to prove that you actually have shared responsibility. For example, you have kids that you take care of together, or you have been sending financial assistance to your spouse, or you are the one receiving assistance from your spouse. If that actually happens, if you're in the UK and maybe your spouse is in another country and he's doing financially better than you and has been sending you financial assistance, then you can actually use that as part of the evidence of your relationship. And then you can also show that you have attended certain events together, maybe a vacation or family meetings or things like that. So they have been a bit simplified. If you want to read all the details, you can go through the documents. I'm going to leave the links under the comment section so that you guys can go ahead and download the documents. So my friends, that is the brief update that I wanted to give you today about the visa rule changes that the UK made this month. If you have any other questions, you can leave them under the comment section. If I have the answer, I'll give it to you. If I don't, I will also tell you that I don't. Otherwise, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.